One Zambia, one nation. Thank you for joining us on Zanis News. To present the news, my name is Faith Katai. The headlines. Local authorities cautioned against charging high rates to investors. Over 20 Egyptian companies express interest in partnering with Zambia. EU support completion of 10 school projects, plus Kalabo Council to construct maternity annexes. Zanis News in detail. President Hakainde Hichilema has attended the Southern African Development Community SADC virtual extraordinary meeting on the outbreak of cholera in the region. President Hichilema attended the meeting at State House in Lusaka, which was officially opened by Angolan President Joao Lourenço. And Angolan President has called for more robust and collective approach among the SADC member states to effectively prevent the spread of cholera in the region. Sande Bwadia has the details.
President Hakainde Hichilema has attended the Southern African Development Community SADC virtual extraordinary meeting on the outbreak of cholera in the region. President Hichilema attended the meeting at State House in Lusaka, which was officially opened by Angolan President Joao Lourenço. And Angolan President Joao Lourenço has called for a more robust and collective approach among the SADC member states to effectively prevent the spread of cholera in the region.
For your prompt response and cooperation to take part in the extraordinary summit of heads of state and government, which was convened at very short notice to discuss the cholera outbreak that plagues our region. In challenging moments such as this one, the solidarity and collective action that unites us are indispensable and require coordinated and collective response to prevent and control the spread of this disease in our community. Please allow me also to extend a word of appreciation to the SADC Executive Secretariat that worked in the preparation of this summit. In this critical moment, I would like to express my solidarity with the countries affected by this devastating disease, as well as for the families that lost their loved ones, and with those that are struggling with the disease in our brotherly affected countries. Approach to face it. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, in meeting to assess the cholera outbreak plaguing our region, we will try to take decisions to prevent and fight its spread and provide an effective response to this disease based on the findings of the Ministers of Health and also on the report.
President Lourenço also called for concerted efforts from cooperating partners.
Allow me to recognize the support provided by our partners, namely the World Health Organization, the African Center for Prevention and Control of Diseases, CDC Africa, and UNICEF in terms of technical advisory and guidance in issues related to public health. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the Republic of Angola has committed to lead the process of integration and regional development, guided by the theme Human and Financial Capital, the main factors for the sustainable industrialization of the southern region. Without good health and well-being of our citizens, which are our human capital, there can be no significant progress with a view to achieving our collective aspiration of having an industrialized, peaceful, inclusive, and competitive region. The public health crisis which affects our region represents a serious threat to sustainable development and well-being of our peoples.
Meanwhile, President Hichilema has been designated as the regional cholera champion to spearhead the fight against cholera in the SADC region. Sunday, we're reporting for Zanis in Lusaka.
Minister of Finance and National Planning Stumbeko Msokotwane has cautioned local authorities to desist from charging high rates to investors as it is a hindrance to economic progress. Dr. Msokotwane says charging exorbitant rates to investors would discourage would-be investors and deter progress. Here are the details.
The multi-facility economic zones are one of the tools that government is using to grow the economy and create jobs for the Zambian people. However, business entities are concerned with alleged high rate charges from local authorities. This came to light when Minister of Finance and National Planning, Stumbeko Msokotwane, toured the Lusaka South Multi-Facility Economic Zone in Kafiwe district to find out if government incentives in the zone are yielding desired results.
The number of investors has seen a rapid growth from about 22 3 years ago to 108. I must mention, Honorable Minister, that out of that number, about closer to 60% are active investors on the ground, either constructing or at least operating. Of our concern is the property rates. We actually are having discussions with quite a number of investors who are impacted by these property rates. We actually have a relationship with Kafiwe Council where we're trying to pay slowly. But ultimately, our plea has always been that probably there's a real look to consider economic zones for some form of remission.
The minister has since cautioned local authorities against charging exorbitant rates.
It is a mistake to believe that as a council, you become rich by hiking the rates to very astronomical levels. Because all you're doing is to slow down. All you're doing is to slow down uptake. Because some of the people, investors, they may decide to say Zambia is too expensive, we'll go and invest into another country. So you've lost. You thought you were going to make money, but you've actually lost money. So we will engage the councils so that they realize that it is in their own interest to put the rates to normal levels.
British American Tobacco is one of the companies visited.
One of the key challenges that we faced in the recent years is to do with obviously exchange rate stability and the impact of FX on our business. And we're fully aware. I think it's encouraging for us to see the amount of effort that's being put in from the ministry, from the government as a whole, to ensure that we bring the macroeconomic stability into full realization.
Shilika Chawalengula for Zanis in Kafiwe.
Chipata District Commissioner Elida Banda says there is no shortage of mealie meal in the district. She said this in an interview with Zanis. We have more in the following report.
They woke up as early as 05 hours in the morning in order to buy the affordable Eagle mealie meal manufactured by the Zambia National Service. The long queues seen here show that people in Chipata district are opting to buy the ZNS affordable mealie meal when there are other brands on the market. Chipata District Commissioner Elida Banda was on the ground to monitor the situation.
We would like to thank the government of the day. We would like to thank His Excellency, our President, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, for the cheap mealie meal that is coming to us through ZNS, the Eagle mealie meal. As a district, we don't have a shortage of mealie meal, but people are opting, they are queuing for this cheap mealie meal because it's affordable. It's going at 230 kwacha only. But we've got other brands of other mealie meal that is in stock, but people would rather go for a cheaper brand. And would like to tell our people in the district that the supply is ongoing because the government would like to cushion on the already biting economy. So the government does not want anyone to go hungry or to go without the staple food. No wonder the initiative of bringing on board Eagle mealie meal.
Mrs. Banda has cautioned people against involving themselves in illegal activities after buying the commodity.
The only worry that I have as a district commissioner is that some people who are crooked, they are buying this mealie meal in bulk using these boys and girls to buy on their behalf. Then they give them something at the end of the day so that they can go and rebag and start selling it at a higher price. we are warning them that the law is going to visit them. Whoever is going to be caught doing that, they are on their own, and the law definitely is going to visit them.
And the people commend government for coming on board to cushion the cost of the mealie meal.
Kutunga upitirire kutati kumuseko February kwa ndrama tilipe icho chama gani tumekonga ochipa unga wa dola ni ma 400 500 koti pemba boma tumeambira hapa project unga uyu upitirire bakalekelea hapa watandize kuli vantu okalamba kuli vantu olemala bakulumukirapo koti pemba boma kuli ma president kuti takachibwa 2026 tinaimwe tokuvoterani kutithandizire unga uyu upitirire ukuliwa pa 230 okalekera pamene hapa.
Sylvester Shimba for Zanis in Chipata District.
Government has declared Samfya district of Luapula province a core center for wetlands in the country, and traditional leaders in the province have called on government to develop all wetland areas. Speaking when Lands and Natural Resources Minister Elijah Muchima paid a courtesy call on them, Chief Unsamba of Lunga district, who thanked government for the declaration, says there is urgent need to develop all wetland areas. Chief Unsamba explained that people living in wetland areas have been leaving the areas and looking for greener pastures elsewhere. He added that in wetland areas, there are only two modes of transportation, which are by air or water. And Chief Kasoma suggested the provision of a boat and other amenities will help spur development in wetland areas. Meanwhile, Chief Kalasa Mukosa of Samfya district advised that people in wetland areas should not be left out of development that is taking place across the country. In responding to the chiefs, Dr. Elijah Muchima assured that government will consider developing wetland areas.
We have discovered today that we should even be the headquarters of wetlands. Pemba said Mwanushenda. Yes, we are just saying Lukanga, Lukanga, Lukanga. And yet you are the mass wetlands here. It hasn't been known until today. Me being a minister for this ministry, I want to declare that this should be the center, the core center for wetlands. We've seen, we've been shown. We have the DC here in Lunga. We need to expose this. We need to protect this. Not denying the people their benefits, but to work together for the future. What shall we do?
But look at the situation that we have. Our wetlands are mostly neglected areas. And this is why you find most of our people, our communities who live with us, in most cases they flock to the towns to seek greener pastures, just because our areas have been neglected. And I'm sure with what you have just said, if at all, a trend can be changed so that you make wetlands meaningful areas where people can be able to live like others.
Ifwe fwesha mfumu twalikwata ukuteeka abantu panshi nga fintu bakasoma bakiranda twabalondolwera obukankala ubuli nga tulesunga bwino ifirengwa na lesa nga tulesunga bwino empanga sheso nga tulesunga bwino amenshi yesu ni shi ichalo chesu chire apanta nshino.
So once we are working hand in hand like this, because we stay with those people on a daily basis, it's very easy that we can try to counsel them and understand the importance of all these things that we see.
We take a break. Up next is business news. Stay
hena korera ninzi korera bulwazi ibwa kusomwana imuntu ujiswa bulwazi bwa korera ulasomwana kuluka kapati itubi tulamenda manji imulwazi ulangwanyota kapati agambwa kumana kwa menda mubiri imulwazi iwa korera wenga wahwa umawola alo ali 12 gombo kutita jana busirisi buli kaboto hena munzira ili buti muntu bwakwanya kujana bulwazi bwa korera ikunywa menda alo atabikidwa musamu ja tuzunda na amenda aji sitombe ikulya chakulya jalo ikubereha manza atasahigwa ikabuto na ikubereha mitima na himwi alo atasahigwa amimusamu na mwamenda ajisi imusamu walo ja tuzunda ikulya chakulya chitawunikidwe jalo chakarwa nzinini ikulya chakulya chitontola jalo chalegekwa na jajilo jalo jenero tijayoborwa kaboto ikulya chakulya chamumazira ikulya imijelo na jihumani jalo jatasahigwa kaboto hena munzira ili buti muntu mbwakwanya kugwabira bulwazi bwa korera ikubona masimpe kuti wabakwananganya kaboto menda akunywa ikuinda mukubona masimpe kuti ajigwa na ikubikwa musamu wa chlorine amusambe mumanze nukubereha nsipa na amenda abikidwa musamu uja tuzunda mwamana kubereha jimbuzi amujisibige na kujikasaha ichakulya kamutana akuchidya amuhunike ichakulya chindi chonse ikutegwa kuti chitakalwe nzinini mutali ichakulya chakuwera mumazira amuberehe ichimbuzi chindi chonse amulitanthamule mukubereha igumbuli na tupepa lwa plastic mukusowa tupi ambone masimpe kuti tupi twasogwa na ikubikwa mujimbuzi ambone masimpe kuti chimbuzi chindi chonse kachisalala na kachihunikidwe oyimulumbe waletwa kulindunye abamuthabulanganya nseba mujisi.
Welcome back. You are watching Zanis News. Over 20 companies based in Egypt have expressed interest in partnering with Muchinga Province. Muchinga Province Minister Henry Sikazwe says the companies are interested in setting up various industries, among other businesses. Zanis staffer Pamela Inambao is in Egypt and now reports.
A delegation from Muchinga Province was recently in Egypt on an invitation of the Egyptian government to attend the Zambia Egyptian Day, second edition, and hold meetings with various companies to lobby for support. The delegation, which held several meetings, have since returned home. And Muchinga Province Minister Henry Sikazwe has described the Egypt trip as a success.
Done a lot since we came. I can confirm to you that more than 20 companies serious shown interest to come and invest in Muchinga Province. Arab contractors who are willing to come within 14 days. I'm very hopeful that indeed we are going to achieve something.
Muchinga Province Assistant Director Mata Kamenda says he is optimistic that the province will be developed with the coming of the over 20 companies that have shown interest to invest in the province.
They were very excited to learn that we've got quite a number of natural resources in the various sectors. We realize the objective of developing Muchinga Province to be one of the industrialized provinces in the country.
Sandra Malea is Muchinga Province Expo Coordinator and shares the way forward.
Letters of intent have also been signed for those that want to quickly come and see where they can invest in Muchinga Province. So we will continue following up with those that have shown interest so that even before the expo, they come to Muchinga Province, we show them around the comparative advantage that we have, so that during the expo we can also sign the memorandum of understanding.
The Zambia Chamber of Commerce and Industry was part of the delegation.
We know we have the resources in the raw form, but we're looking for partners that have the capacity for capital injection and machinery to set up, and thereby be able to extenuate even the profits out of the country.
Meanwhile, Muchinga Province Minister assured residents of Muchinga Province that the Muchinga Expo will take place.
I'm sure our people have to know that this year, definitely whatever comes, we have to have Expo between maybe September and October. So we are doing this in preparation for our business expo that we're going to have.
Pamela Inamba reporting for Zanis, New Cairo, Egypt.
Kasama Municipal Council has encouraged contractors and suppliers in the district to familiarize themselves with the electronic government procurement system. Kasama Town Council Moses Mwewa says people need to have hands-on experience with the system, especially with the directive that all procurement entities must migrate from using physical processes to electronic government systems by January this year. Tizao Namlenga reports.
These are some of the local contractors and suppliers who are gathered to learn about the new electronic government procurement system. The workshop that was conducted by the Kasama Municipal Council follows the directive by government that all procurement entities must migrate from using physical processes to the electronic government procurement system. Kasama Town Clerk Moses Moa officiated at the meeting.
There is a directive from government that beginning January 2024, all procuring entities must migrate from the use of physical processes of procurement, the manual processes, to electronic government platforms. And the importance is that this system, electronic system, ensures the issues of transparency, accountability, and also fairness, because it removes the element of human contact. Therefore, the issues of corruption and coercive influences are removed.
National Association for Medium and Small-Scale Contractors Chairperson Glenn Lushinga called on contractors and suppliers in Kasama to have hands-on experience with the new system.
We don't want anyone to be left out, especially the CDF, when it offloads the tenders next month. They will offload these tenders on EGP. So now, if you don't know how to go about, you are going to be left out, and you start complaining to say, no, if we are left out. So we don't want to hear those things.
And a representative from suppliers has encouraged others to familiarize themselves with the system.
I'm encouraging all the women of Kasama that EGP platform is a very good deal, whereby I myself have won several contracts concerning even CDF.
For Zanis in Kasama, I'm Tizao Namlenga.
Chipata City Council has urged farmers to consider using waste dumped at markets as composite manure. Chipata City Council Public Relations Officer Eddie Ngoma says the move can lessen dependence on artificial fertilizer and lessen costs on garbage collection. More in the following report.
Garbage collection is key to maintaining high standards of hygiene. In disposal, it can also be effective in providing nutrients for plants. As such, Chipata City Council Public Relations Officer Eddie Ngoma is calling on farmers to use waste dumped in markets as composite manure.
We are just not seated watching the waste at Saturday market. What we are doing is that currently there is manual work currently going on, and we're using our tipper truck to transport that waste from Saturday market to the dump site. But what we'd love to appeal to the upcoming farmers and the farmers themselves, the waste that is generated at Saturday market, we can use that as compost manure. So we call upon the farmers or those ones with gardens at their backyards, come through to Saturday market. Come and talk to us. We'll be able to give you space so that you can separate that waste at Saturday market. Because once we also venture into separation of waste at source, it will also help us to reduce the tonnage of waste that we are transporting to the dump site daily.
Some farmers of Luangeni are considering taking up this initiative.
So kutati taira komuka kufukutakine ulimi wa manyo wande watu kai fertilizer ya tu hapa ni 1000 chakuti kutoka December iwe 2000 umatu kule 2 bags ulima lepu kulisa wanu kwa nyovu
bacho mgwadi tikakumba mgwadi mtenda hivi nofuki ukawa tikabunikira so tikabunikira verenga miezi ngati 3 so wafo tifuraso nienda kupika mbele tomato, onion,
Katso Dimbani, Zanis News, Chipata District, Eastern Province.
About 45,000 bags of fertilizer have been supplied by the government to farmers in Katete District that did not receive their farming inputs during the farming season under the Farmer Input Support Program, FISIP. Outgoing Katete District Commissioner Malan Zimba flagged off the distribution exercise, saying government has supplied D-compound and the remaining was urea. More in the following report.
It was never delivered during the 2021-2022 farming season. However, government has kept its word and delivered the farming inputs owed to the farmers under the Farmer Input Support Program for the 2021-2022 farming season. Katete District Commissioner Malan Zimba flagged off the distribution of the inputs.
Mu 2021 about 19,000 plus farmers were affected and they did not collect their balances or sometimes others even their inputs, yet you paid and government has paid for the said inputs. The challenge that we had was that the supplier could not deliver in time until the season ended. Right now, what we have as balances is 12,000 by 50 kg of bags of D-compound and 33,186 by 50 kgs bags of urea.
And the farmers who were in disbelief and have never seen such a thing happen thanked government for honoring its word.
Nisotokoza isalima kumzime kuti boma yatiganiza pafataleza watu chomwe unakalira nakungodandaula kuti akansi ni chiboma yatitengera ndalama pasi kuti pasa mabalansi yathu so pomwe tinamvera kuti ayi mabalansi ayakupasa tinakhala yamikira ndipo tingopemphera kuti Mulungu ayikepo dzanja kuti boma ilipo ipitirize ni mkhalidwe otere mwe umu. So apa natenga 345 urea tifunika so tenga 345 D.
Tinatenga D 1414. Then urea tifunika so tenga 414 tons. Then chabe kalokondwera kuti fertilizer watu zate tabika process kakatengedwe ndiye kazapa south farmers wa tosi kubwera kumbwero tenga nakhala ku challenge sometimes na matenda yalipo yakolera kuzakhala kuta.
Hope Walia, Katete District, Eastern Province.
We take another break. Up next is education and health news plus other items. Stay tuned.
Kolera wapa msongo muka. Kolera wapa msongo wa kuichisa. Mutu alina msongo wa kolera echikuichisa ngachikuma na kusaza nawa. Bize vipi mwaichisa mutu na vipoya meya nge msoji wa loso. Mubeji echikuzia ngachikuma mujimba muomwe ya kufumisa meya a mujimba. Mubeji nawa na hase kufa mujiwola li 12 hours ngeka wechi kumuhana vitumbo vya kumuka wa shiko. Unahase ngachili kuachi wa kumsongo wa kolera kuhichila mkuna meya kuwana kuhaka vitumbo nawa aze ali na majilo. Kulia vyakulya na mawoko aze ali na majilo chipwe kuzachisa malonga na jindeho ja kukosa na meya majilo akuhona kuhaka vitumbo. Kulia vyakulya vyakuhona kufika vize vana wili kubajiji. Kulia vyakulya vituta vize kawatumbikanga kana wako. Kulia vyakulya vize vana kulandulula mikwakwa. Na kulia na wamihako na makovu ako na kukosa kanawa. Tunahasenga chili kulikinga kumusongo wa kolera. Telekenu meya enu akunwa chipwe kuhaka mo vitumbo vya chlorine. Sanenu kumawoko enu na sopo chipwe na meya kuhaka vitumbo hanyima ya kuzayisa chimbusho. Zumisenu vyakulya venu shimbukanda mubilye. Fwikenu havyakulya venu vyosena kuchina kuviwila kubajiji. Kanda kulya vyakulya vyakulanda mumikwa kwa nduma. Zachisenu chimbusho lwalo sena. Kahakanda kuzachisa ndundu chipwe mapepa andundu hakuya na kulihehwa nduma. Mwatela kumona ngwenu vipi yosena munavitapwila mchimbusho. Chimbusho cha nawa chatela kupwa cha unyoji kahanawa cha kufika lwalo sena. mujimbu uno vanamnehela wakuli vakachanda chatala kulikangula cha meno ya watu cha Ministry of Health.
You are still watching Zanis News. Lusaka Province Minister Shaw Muliata has inspected Mwembeshi Boarding School in Chilanga District to assess cholera prevention measures put in place to ensure safety of pupils before schools reopen on February 12, 2024. Ms. Muliata says the inspection are being conducted to prevent the spread of cholera among pupils as schools open. Direct Aid Society has donated cholera response goods worth 430,000 to Lusaka District Office. Direct Aid Society Country Director says the organization has set aside 2.5 million kwacha towards the fight against the cholera epidemic. Details in this report.
Direct Aid Society Zambia has joined the fight against cholera epidemic that broke out in Lusaka last year by donating cholera response items worth 430,000 kwacha. Direct Aid Society Zambia Country Director Wali Bakit commended the government's overwhelming support to the organization.
Today, as a start from Direct Aid Society, we are starting with 10 5,000 liter tanks, 13,800 bottles of liquid chlorine, 20 packets of granule chlorine, and 15 washing basins as a start.
Lusaka District Commissioner Rosa Zulu, who received the donation on behalf of the government, thanked the Direct Aid Society for working closely with the government in the fight against the epidemic.
As government, we really appreciate the donations, but we are still asking, pleading for those who are able to help, like our friends have done, the direct aid. Others are most welcome to come and donate. We are not refusing, we are not even segregating who is bringing. We are receiving all donations because they are going to save the lives of our people.
Mr. Bakit says the organization has also set aside additional funds to help contain the cholera disease.
Next week, we promise that it is undergoing or under preparation. We have a huge support to the government concerning this epidemic. This one, as it started, is 430,000 cost. This is the start. But next week, it is 2.5.
Some of the donated items have since been distributed to George Township in Matero constituency. James Sakala reporting for Zanis in Lusaka.
Stakeholders have continued supporting the Ministry of Health in the fight against the cholera outbreak, with the latest being the wonderful group of companies. Ministry of Health Permanent Secretary for Donor Coordination, George Sinyangwe, has described the gesture of materials donated to the ministry worth 2 million kwacha as the organization's dedication to humanity and support to the government. And wonderful group of companies board chairperson Gilbert Temba revealed that the materials included 100,000 of 250 milliliters of chlorine bottles, 100,000 sachets of ORS, 500 complete raincoat suits, and 500 complete hand-washing buckets and stands.
I'm informed that a wonderful group has brought good news through a donation of items worth 2 million kwacha. These items include chlorine, ORS, raincoats, and basins. This support augments the country's multi-sectoral response to cholera. I want, through you, to encourage other entities, corporate entities, to formalize corporate social giving as a routine exercise to give back to the community. This will in turn encourage communities to give back to these corporate entities like yourselves.
Our group collaborates with government and particularly your ministry, sir, in the fight against and the mitigation of current cholera pandemic, the contribution is this particular is but a symbol of commitment on our part to being an all-weather partner, particularly with your ministry, to mitigate against challenges our people face, such as this one.
In Western Province, Kalabo Town Council has dispersed a total of 465,000 Constituency Development Fund (CDF) for construction of a maternity annex at Mapungu Health Center in Kalabo Central Constituency. Town Council Secretary Kamwata Pongo said the district currently has a deficit of 25 maternity annexes. Let's take a look at this report.
The experience of giving birth has long-term implications for a mother's health. In Mapungu ward of Kalabo Central Constituency in Kalabo District of Western Province, the construction of the first ever maternity annex in the area has given hope to women.
Neruka kupa happy kuli musa wakafeza kuya ha maternity ye ni mother shelter muba inanga bale baba toliberera nga ikweliza bona aseli sutelezi fa kupepa kaka mbaba kakuli baba mbazanga kwa hule
kuya kwa pata CDF mana rusai kupaka tata kuli mama areas mokweza kuli kuna ntupatira kono akuna maternity annex rukupa kuli ba muso babone faten makone kubikuya hama maternity annex kakuli muima aswane kuzama distance yeterere kuye.
And Mapungu Ward Development Committee Chairperson Stalima Tomola said the committee sought for the construction of a maternity annex as per community demand.
Some CDF forms, we considered it as well so that we could pick it. And that's what we did, the WDC. It was among the top priorities.
Kalabo Town Council Secretary Kamwata Pongo told Zanis that although the district has a deficit of 25 maternity annexes, the local authority dispersed a total of 456,000 kwacha for the construction of Mapungu Maternity Annex, and money has been drawn from the Constituency Development Funds, CDF.
The shortfall is 25.
Okay.
And in terms of projections, that is the number we have recommended to the CDF committee. The maternity annex at Mapungu, the total cost is 465,000 kwacha.
Meanwhile, Kalabo District Health Director Dr. Neto Mwayo, who inspected the construction of the facility, appealed to all ward development committees, WDCs, to consider adopting the construction of maternity annexes, among other health facilities.
Through CDF and the respective WDCs in the constituencies, that they prioritize construction of maternity annexes in those facilities that are already existing and also in those facilities that are being constructed, such that the outcomes of our mothers can be of very great importance.
The construction of maternity annexes, among others, is President Hakainde Hichilema's priority across the country, and this is in an effort to reduce maternal deaths from the current 278 to less than 100 by 2026. Tinembewe for Zanis News, Kalabo District, Western Province.
Nyimba Foundation and the International Drug Company has donated medical supplies to St. Luke's Mpasha Mission Hospital in Rufunsa District. And in receiving the donation, District Commissioner Richard Mabena says government is committed to working with the private sector to enhance development in the country. More in this report.
Nyimba Foundation and International Drug Company have donated medical items to St. Luke's Mpasha Mission Hospital in Rufunsa District in an effort to help in the fight against cholera. Witnessing the donation of the medical equipment and supplies, which included 30 modern beds, mattresses, pillows, medicines, and blankets, Rufunsa District Commissioner Richard Mabena thanked the investors for supplementing government efforts in the fight against cholera.
IDC, Nyimba Investments, what you've done today is not uneasy. In Rufunsa, we have just passed a difficult time because of the cholera, which is still with us in Rufunsa. I wish to assure you that the new Dawn government, under the capable leadership of Republican President Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, has pledged to work with investors like Nyimba Investments and IDC. And we say thank you for supplementing the government efforts.
Nyimba Foundation representative Amina Patel said it was vital for the private sector to support the government in curbing the spread of cholera in the country.
It is vital and indeed our duty as the private sector to set up and to help fill those gaps by supporting the government in its already extensive and commendable efforts to mitigate the current cholera crisis. It is important to supplement these very efforts that we at the Nyimba Foundation and the International Drug Company are doing a donation of medical equipment and supplies to
Chieftainess Mumpajas in Luna, Bishop John Mambo had this to say.
When we have such a crisis like the cholera that we have had, corporate companies such as the IDC have done, they should move in. This hospital accommodates all of us, regardless of churches. In fact, the hospital accommodates all of us, regardless of churches. In fact,
and Rufusa District Health Director Peter Kakonde gives an update on the cholera situation in the district and thanked Nyimba Foundation for the timely gesture.
As Rufunsa, we've actually hit a cumulative total of, at the moment, 645 cases. So those are the cases that we've seen. Among those 645, we've discharged 627. Unfortunately, 15 have departed.
Reporting for Zanis in Rufusa District of Lusaka Province, I am Msekiwa Ndembe.
A combined team comprising Kaoma Council health inspectors and district health officers has seized over 70 by 25 kilogram bags of breakfast mealie meal believed to be contaminated from two named shops in the Central Business District, valued at 22,000 kwacha. This was in an operation conducted on Wednesday, 30th January 2024 afternoon following a tip-off from a resident that had bought suspected contaminated mealie meal. Kaoma Town Council Public Relations Officer Mike Daka confirmed the development to Zanis and revealed that the confiscated bags contained spongy smelly particles after preliminary examinations. That last item brings us to the end of the news, but before we go, we take a look at the stories that made headlines. Local authorities cautioned against charging high rates to investors. Over 20 Egyptian companies express interest in partnering with Zambia. EU support completion of 10 stored school projects, plus Kalabo Council to construct maternity annexes. That's all we packaged for you on the news desk. This has been Faith Katai on behalf of the entire Zanis production team. Have a pleasant viewing.